Hey everybody, thank you for coming to check out this video. I am going to be doing a couple Halloween videos leading up to the biggest event of the year. So we'll start with something simple, just like a nice little spider look with a little bit of glam. So if you want to check this out, keep on watching.
Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my very first Halloween video. Here's a quick glance at all of the products that we are going to be using today. Alright, so we're going to start by spraying some fresh rose floral toner all over the skin. And then we're going to grab the Nude Rescue Oil and put 3 to 4 drops in between your palms, work it together, and just press it right into the skin. Then we have the Kate Somerville Goat Milk Eye Depuffer Treatment. We're just going to roll that right underneath the eyes and work it in with our ring fingers, and it's going to make our eyes look nice and awake. Next up we have the Sephora Intensive Instant Moisturizer. It has hyaluronic acid in it, and it's going to draw in moisture in the environment, keeping you nice and hydrated all day long. Then I'm using the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation in the shade 1.0. I'm just going to pump some onto the back of a clean hand and work that in with the Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. Working in nice light layers, building it up where I need it. Then applying some Too Faced Shadow Insurance to both of my eyelids with my ring finger once again. Now I'm taking the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in Fair Neutral and just popping that on my under eyes and any of my highlight areas. Working that in with a sponge again. And make sure if you're using a concealer that's a bit lighter for your highlights that you use a concealer more appropriate to your skin tone if you're going to be covering up spots, just so you don't make them stand out even more. Next I've got the Makeup Forever Translucent Loose Setting Powder. Just pat some out onto a Kleenex and work that in with just a powder brush. You can use a beauty blender if you'd prefer as well. I find stippling the powder in with my combination skin type works really nicely and helps to keep my skin not looking too oily. Next we've got the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour and Highlight Palette. And I'm just going to be taking the lightest of the contour shades and just working that into my cheekbone. I like to work in circular motions, just kind of pushing the product up underneath the cheekbone. That seems to work for me. I prefer to use a powder contour and highlight as opposed to a cream because I have, again, more of a combination skin type and the creams can show off the oil. And you can work that in to the top of the hairline if you feel like you want to make your forehead look a little bit shorter, and just along my jawline. Now I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in the shade Sunburst, and I'm grabbing the Sephora No. 92 Pro Featherweight brush, and just dipping that brush into the product and sweeping it along my cheekbones and all my highlight points until I get my desired effect. And if you want to bump up that highlighter a little bit more, just spray some setting spray onto your skin before you apply the product and it's going to give you a really nice shine. This brush can look a little bit intimidating at first, but it's so soft and it's got really nice edges for doing fine details as well. So I would definitely recommend checking this one out. And then taking the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, I'm just going to do a fine mist all over my face just to set all the powders that we put on. And give it a nice fan, help it dry. And then for my eyebrows, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in dark brown. I'm just putting that on with an angled brush. I recently just got my eyebrows microbladed, so I'm just kind of going in where the foundation covered up my eyebrow. I'm just adding a little bit more definition to the edges. And then just match that to your other eyebrow and we can move on to the eyeshadows. I'm going to be taking this Sephora Matte eyeshadow in number 271 called Skinny Dipping. And I'm just going to be taking that on a fluffy crease brush and just building up my intensities. Starting from the outside of my eye and working the product towards the inside of my eye so it has a nice fade. And really take the time blending out your eyeshadows. Make sure you have no harsh edges. And now I'm going to take the Kat Von D Shade and Light eyeshadow palette in Rust. And I'm just going to start to define my crease even more, just deepening it with that nice dark brown. I've had the chance to play around with all of these quads and they're all so beautiful. The color payoff is really nice. And then just taking a fluffy brush with no product on it, just use that to feather out the colors and get a nice blend between the two and kind of wing it out towards the outer eye. And then repeat onto the other eye. And I'm just going to be taking that same highlighter shade from the That Glow kit and I'm just going to pop that on as my eye highlight. And I'll be using the Revlon Colorstay Liquid Eyeliner in black. I like to keep my eyes open when I do my liquid liner, but you can put this on however you prefer. Just making sure that your eyes are nice and even, constantly checking back and forth for balance. I find this product is a little bit hard to work with once it's dried and you go to put more product on top. It kind of picks the product up and makes it look patchy. Today I'll be using the Ardell number 812 Faux Mink False Lashes. I'm just going to be pulling them from the tips of the lashes so that we don't damage the actual lash strip. We can line it up on the eyes just to see if we need to trim any of the lashes off. And once you've got that lined up and you figured out what you need to trim, just take some 99% alcohol and use some paper towel to clean off your scissors. Make sure that there's nothing on them. And when you're trimming the lashes, make sure you avoid the fine details on the inner side of the lash. Make sure you trim it from the outer corner. Then taking my latex-free duo glue, I'm gonna apply that onto the strip and just wait for it to get a little bit more tacky. And wait, and wait. And then I'm just going to pop it on right on the middle of my eye. And I'm going to stick down the outer corner. And then lastly, I'll stick down the inner corner. Make sure it's really on there and press it in. And then you can just take the back end of a makeup brush or a Q-tip and just push the lash line right into your lashes. And then repeat onto the other side. And if your lash strip is a little bit tough, you can just kind of mold it like this to loosen it. And they're done. Onto the lips, we're going to just take some lip balm and hydrate our lips. And then I'm taking the NYX Lingerie Liquid Lipstick in Bustier. Working in light layers, because I find this color can turn a little bit gray if you put it on too thick. So working in light layers, just build it up. It dries quite quickly, it's a really nice product. And then we're going to take the Kat Von D Studded Kiss lipstick in Slayer. And I'm just going to use this color to deepen up the inside of my lips. to add a little bit of drama. Right onto my ring finger and just pat it on there. I find sometimes the color payoff can be a little light for this lipstick, so you can just go in and apply more as needed. I'm just cleaning that lipstick up with a Sephora Pro Lip number 81 brush. Now moving on to the finer details, just taking a really fine-tipped artist brush and a Cake Black liquid eyeliner. It's just water activated. I prefer to do this kind of stuff with that, but you can use liquid liner, a pencil, or gel if you prefer. You might lose a little bit of the detail with the pencil since it loses its sharp tip quite easily, but the gel will definitely last you all day. And we're just going to slowly start building up these spider structures, just building a small circle for the head, a little bit bigger circle for the body, and then drawing on the legs. It's super simple. It's a nice introduction to Halloween. You can practice on your hand just to kind of get the hang of it, because it can be a little bit tricky to do in the mirror, but once you've got it, it's really fast. And you can really place these wherever you want. You could have them coming out of your eyes, out of your ears. I just chose to do something a little bit more on the simple side, but still a really great effect. And if you really wanted to add a little bit of gore, you could add some dried blood as well to the corner of the mouth. And just keep building up the spiders until you have the look that you'd like. And then that part is done. I'm just going to add a little bit more detail, getting some of the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in Glam Punk. I'm just going to put some on the inner corner of my eyes. These are really great glitters. They come in a lot of different colors too. And then once again, just going in and setting all of that with the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. Alright, and that is it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this look. If you end up doing it, please make sure to tag me on Instagram at Artistry by Emily. I would love to see it.
Looks like a mustache. Smells like marshmallows. Okay, that's perfect.